Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hey, what's going on? It is the end of the week. It's time to thaw out. It's going to take a couple of days for us to even have a chance to do that. Speaking of thawing out, you got to freeze before you thaw out. Baseball's going to freeze today. I don't care if they move the game from 6 o'clock to 4.
It's still going to be cold.
Yeah. 36 degrees, I think, is what you're going to probably see first pitch at the Dell Diamond. Maybe if the sun is shining there, it'll feel a little bit nicer. But you try to get out of the cold, go farther south, and end up with not quite as cold as it is here at home in the natural state. All right. Good to be with you. Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. We've got 2 hours of exciting sports talk and some goofiness to get through. That includes the golden hour. A lot of college basketball. Why not? Big one tomorrow. I hear there's a pretty big game at Bud Walton Arena tomorrow.
Is there?
Yeah. I hear it's Arkansas' Super Bowl, according to every single Kentucky fan that loves to view their basketball team is the most important thing in the entire world for everybody else.
Last time I checked, I don't think anybody in the state of Arkansas has said that. Have you heard those words on these airway stations?
Not on this one, but no. But you can follow around on what other fans are saying on whatever social media platform we all adhere to these days, and it's
probably just the wahoos on the message boards, which is why I've never visited a message board. Never.
Probably a good idea. That's probably
you don't want to see what they're saying about you.
I do not. And plus, I've seen screenshots of some like on Twitter or Instagram or other social media platforms, and it's always the dumbest things. It's always the people that think that they know everything and that they've got this quote unquote inside source, and it's always wrong. I've never once seen something come out of left field and then somebody says, oh, yeah, we read that on the message board last week. Like, that never happens. The message boards are nothing but garbage.
Well, and sometimes you just put your eyes on that so you can get a good laugh every once in a while. But, I saw it in a couple of posts coming from Kentucky fans that just love to beat their chest about how important they are to everybody else. Well, when you're good on a year-by-year basis, I think that'll be the part. That'll be the case. When your coach is a lightning rod, then you're going to probably feel the same thing. But, look, I think Arkansas already celebrated one victory this year against Auburn that they wouldn't celebrate quite the same way against Kentucky. Because let's face it now, you're not going to be giving up $250,000 again.
No.
I would imagine not.
And why would you? This time you're coming in as the number 18th ranked team, winning 12 out of 13. It's a completely different situation. And while Kentucky's a really good team, they're not the number one team in the nation. Court storming is reserved for big upsets, number one teams you haven't beaten a long time that are really good, or at least projected to be really good, going back to Texas and during the football season. You don't just storm a court because it's a quote-unquote blue blood.
That's right. But part of it is also like the mindset of the fan base going into the game. There's already a frenzy amongst Razorback fans for this basketball team for very good reason. They give you reason to get really hyped up about every game that they're about to play. Because they play an exciting brand. They're grinded out sort of a defensive-oriented team, which I think you can get with. And they win. Even in the one loss over the last 13 games. You're right there with it, fought back from behind and almost beat Alabama. So you're going to be entertained. You're going to be entertained. And usually you're going to turn the television off or walk out of Bud Walton Arena with a pretty happy smile on your face because they just keep winning. They just keep winning. So there is a frenzy, I think, built up around this game. There already was a frenzy when the schedule was released, and you saw that Kentucky would be coming to Fayetteville on a Sunday afternoon. And immediately without just knowing that it was Arkansas, Kentucky on a Saturday, that it would be the CBS game, and there it is. And the eyes of college basketball will be upon you, and it's going to be exciting. So
it's going to be fun.
Here's one thing to be excited about as well. So here's another outlet, not here in Arkansas, but in the Commonwealth state, in Kentucky. There is KSR, Kentucky Sports Radio, Matt Jones and his outfit. That's where you would hear, oh, this is Arkansas Super Bowl. This is their most important game of the year. They're going to treat it like a championship and all that kind of stuff. Did you know KSR had to be off the air on Monday? They lost power.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why, but maybe that's a very good sign when the statewide network in Kentucky that pushes just Wildcat sports goes off the air, unplanned, not on a major holiday, and couldn't talk about anything. And yet here we were all week long pushing
we were
this
working.
game. That's right. We were working. We had power. We got through an ice storm. We got through sleet.
We haven't missed
snow.
a beat.
We are more dependent. We are as dependable as the mail service and more dependable than KSR. And we're not going to tell you that this is Arkansas Super Bowl, because it isn't. Once you get into the NCAA tournament, that's going to be – why even call it the Super Bowl? Let's just call it what it is. That's your March Madness, and you're not going to feel that way in February.
No, you're not. And the crazy thing about, the only people that ever say the words, it's their Super Bowl, is the opponent that likes to think that they're so much better.
It's chest beaters.
Exactly. When was the last time? I mean, even in a game where you could actually say as a neutral source that, that probably is Team B's Super Bowl when they go up against Team A. Like, it's a big game. It's something that both fan bases are looking forward to. Probably more the Team B because, depending on the reputations of the team. But when somebody throws out, every time we come in, it's their Super Bowl, because we're just that much better. There's just that arrogance in the air, and you just kind of just want to smack them a bit. Just like, come on, man, get off your high horse. How about you join us down here in reality? Yeah, Kentucky's really good, but so are a lot of other teams. You think
as Arkansas is right now?
I mean, is Duke right now saying that this Saturday against Syracuse, that's their Super Bowl? No, nobody's saying that. Get off your high horse, Big Blue Nation.
Well, they sit on that high horse with a nice straight back, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, looking down on everybody else. But we'll see what happens on Saturday. And then these teams could end up – I mean, honestly here, you could very well see these two teams matching up for the SEC championship
oh, for sure.
in Tampa. And I saw there was a question on our now working text line. The text line is alive again, 877-377-6963.
It's not working for me right now, if we've gotten any.
Well, I see some stuff that came in for the morning rush.
Okay, I didn't know if
maybe it might be a little hot and cold. I don't know.
Usually this time of day, though, like BE or something.
Yeah, we'd have had a JT or BE text.
Test it out, buddies. Test it out, everybody. Yeah, they'll come in at some point. Would you rather win against Kentucky here, or would you rather win in the SEC tournament? Because if you play Kentucky in the tournament, it's for the championship.
Yeah, because you'd be on two different sides.
It's not a home game. It's not at the Bud. It's not where the roof will explode and you'll remember if you were there because it was the Bud. I mean, you're not going to have as many Razorback fans in Tampa as you will at a home game. But I would say, yes, the text line is working. Zach,
thank you, Zach. Thank you for texting.
I mean, you'd rather win in the tournament, right? To end their run in the NCAA. I mean, again, why do we have to pick one or the other here?
I mean, are we playing them in the NCAA tournament, or are you playing them in the SEC tournament?
Well, that's a good question.
See, because if you're playing them in the SEC tournament, then I don't think it really doesn't matter. Because I think at that point, if you're both there, and that'd be on Saturday or Sunday, depending on how everything shakes out, your seeding's already pretty much determined. I even if Arkansas was able to win the SEC tournament in Tampa, I don't know if they really move up. Now, if they win this week and they finish out the regular season 3-0, then you move up. So if you beat Kentucky tomorrow, I think it's worth more than if just beating Kentucky in the tournament.
Well, I mean,
because how
it's about hardware.
How big of a difference is it between neutral site and home site, in the eyes of the committee?
In the eyes,
honestly, it helps Kentucky out more if they beat you here.
I don't really think that the committee takes much of the conference tournaments into account.
Exactly.
It does. The conference tournament games don't move the net ranking. I think your resume is just about made.
It's 99.9%.
Finish the regular season. I mean, you could make a push, maybe a little bit of a push, and slide up a spot if you win your tournament in that case. But I think the committee's already made its mind up, and I think that's the same in baseball too. You know, you're going to make your case in the regular season for the NCAA tournament, but there is then just throw away the idea about whatever in the postseason tournament that's the national tournament, right? Hardware. Hardware means something. Saturday against Kentucky doesn't mean anything as far as hardware is concerned. You still have the opportunity for to tie for the league championship, but that's pretty much out of your reach. But a tournament championship game, I think at that moment, nobody's really worried about what's going to happen later on that day when the selection committee makes their final, when they make their final reveal.
Yeah, trophies are nice and everything, but
you get a chance to cut down nets.
Yeah.
You get something for the trophy case. And then, hey, maybe you play them again in the national tournament. I mean, I've seen this before in baseball where Arkansas played against South Carolina and Mississippi in the Super Regional. And that certainly felt like it meant more than any regular season game. But, I think there is something to be said about winning your conference tournament and hardware. That's why I look at the baseball season last year and say, look, I mean, they won 2 championships, regular season, conference tournament, those things. You don't ignore that.
They matter, but to play devil's advocate here, how much do they really matter here today, February 25th, 2022, when Arkansas didn't make it to Omaha? Yeah, titles are nice.
There's always the
trophies are nice, but if you don't make it to the second weekend of the second weekend of the tournament, does it really matter? It only matters if you have a banner that means something to go along with it.
You put a banner up for winning the SEC tournament. You do. You do. Absolutely you do. You're not going to not hang a banner if you win your conference championship. There's plenty of room up there to put one up that says SEC champions. But that's also there's the other aspect of this. There is the but, the yeah but. So you have your set of achievements, but the yeah but is the thing that always comes at the end.
There's always a big but, right, Phil?
There is, and I really sometimes do like the big but. Not in that case, though.
I mean, don't we all?
We would like the tournament championship and an appearance in the Sweet 16 in Omaha and all of that to go together. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. And then again, the conversation here is like, which game would you rather win more? Just win tomorrow and then worry about the rest of it. It's just sports topic stuff, So we'll get into the game itself with Aaron Torres in about 20 minutes.
The old classic, take it one game at a time.
Yeah, like many of the listeners tell us to do.
Yeah, because we affect the team and we affect things that go on the court. And when we really know, the only person that affects what happens on the court is the play-by-play man.
That's exactly right.
So if something goes wrong and Chuck said something this week, you can blame Chuck. If baseball goes wrong, you can blame Phil. But you can't blame me. That's what I'm trying to say.
Guys, we had a moment yesterday for the women's game, and man, I mean, that was a gut punch loss, really, for 63-62. That was a gut punch loss, but we'll hit on that in a bit. There was a funny moment, I thought. Mike Neighbors is right in front of me during a moment when Jenna Stady, the center for Georgia, is shooting free throws. And Mike now has always this year, when anybody is shooting free throws, is like right in front of the crowd microphone. I think he wants to hear if I'm going to say the shooter's percentage.
If you're going to jinx it.
Right. So just before Stady put up her first free throw, he looks back and says audibly towards me, and it went into the crowd mic, she hasn't missed a free throw yet in the regular season in SEC play, has she, Phil? Of course, the coach knows the stats, right?
Yeah, he does.
She'd been 29 of 32 up to that point, so she did miss threes. Pretty good percentage, isn't it?
It is.
And she made them both. I think he wanted me to try to jinx. It doesn't work that way. If there was a broadcaster jinx, I don't think I can jinx anything that the opponent is doing, because I've tried that before, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't. But when it does work, or just coincidence does, it's all people need. Even if it only happens 1 out of 100 times, still that one time.
Hey, Maddie, speaking of one time, I really do appreciate the line from Pee-wee's Big Adventure there. You want me and Simone to talk about her big butt, right? Yes, right. We know that line very well. Stay tuned. Halftime coming right back.
Kentucky rain keeps pouring down, and up ahead's another town that I'll go walking through. show diamonds today. Strike 'em out, love to say. Russian sack or two insane skies. Hard score, I'm feeling so high. Going home wild on Dixon Street.
ESPN 95.3.
It's the final weekend of February, and the end of the month sale is on at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, Troy. You have to sell 20, you said, before the end of the month.
Yes, you're 100% right. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I'm saying. Stop what you're doing. If you've even been thinking about purchasing a vehicle, get down here and see us this weekend. It's going to be the super sale. We're going to have thousands of dollars off of all these vehicles out here on the lot. We've got a manager special row with up to $9,000 off. I mean, we've got some crazy deals. Get down here and see us. This is the weekend to buy.
The weather's been tough, so that makes it even more of a sense of urgency to buy today.
It definitely does. We have to sell 20 cars this weekend by the close of Saturday night. So if you want a deal, get down here and see us.
Nobody will give you more for your trade, and the end of the month savings are real at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, and always online at harryrobinson.com.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drug Store has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Jack Williams worked the ferry on the Washita River line for $5.65 an hour. He hauled them people side to side.
Everyone I know has a big butt. Come on, Simone, let's talk about your big butt.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Back in the day when P.B. Herman could say something like that on a movie and you not get cross-eyed. Yeah. Arkansas baseball, 4 o'clock, right? We hope.
Correct, sir.
Could have the game in front of them go a little later. That would be Louisiana and Stanford. Might take a minute for Nick, who's filling in for me on the radio broadcast, to figure out how to pronounce Indiana's starting pitcher's name.
What is it?
It is. Now, he's got a hyphenated first name. I'm used to the hyphenated last name. John Biagio Modugno, I'm guessing.
John Biagio Modugno.
You don't see a lot of names that have 2 G's in them in 3 letters, but there
No,
you
you
go.
don't.
Connor Noland is very easy to pronounce.
I got that one down.
Biagio Modugno is not. Only the 3rd time Arkansas and Indiana ever play a baseball game.
I saw this. I saw the nugget on Twitter, and I wish I remember who said it so I could credit them. But the last time that Indiana and Arkansas played, Dave Van Horn was on the Arkansas team?
Yep, March 21st, 1982, according to the game notes here. Van Horn suited up and helped Arkansas take down Indiana 5-3 at old George Cole Field. So, yeah, and the first time they played was before Arkansas ever had a baseball conference to play in, and this predated Norm DeBrine as head coach, 1967. Yeah, and Indiana, this is one of the reasons, like I don't like missing baseball games, but Indiana's the one place that I had a chance to try out for. That was the first school I attended. Indiana University, Bloomington, Hoosiers. Bob Morgan was the head coach. There's no reason to get into all the stories or anything because it basically screwed up my opportunity to play college baseball, but I did try out the second year at Indiana and made it past the initial walk-on.
Hey.
And then was cut 3 days later when it was obvious that it wasn't going to happen. I hadn't played ball in like a year since then. But it was embarrassing, too, because everybody else had the uniform except me and the 2 other guys. We were just like looking like a couple of schnooks trying to fit into a baseball team that really wasn't very good anyway. And Bob Morgan, for some reason, was the head coach there for like 25 years. They made the NCAA tournament a time. Once. It's like, well, they kind of fire you now if that's the case, even in the Big Ten.
Well, not at every school. I mean, it kind of sounds like somebody that that I know that has coached a very long
that's
time.
Right. Memphis.
This is actually his last year.
That's right.
I think
he's been very good for a while.
No, he's been the coach for 15-plus years. Made the tournament twice, I want to say. Never gotten past the regional round either.
Well, it's different
so
now
it does
in Indiana
happen.
because that's the school that Chris Lemonis left to go to Mississippi State and took them to the national championship last year. So they've got different expectations now. And Lemonis took them to the national tournament. I think it was 4 times in 5 years. They made the College World Series seemingly out of nowhere when Kyle Schwarber was their catcher. So. Scott Rowland he's not an assistant coach for Indiana, but he's on the staff as the director of player development. Isn't that nice? A guy
pretty neat.
He's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. I think this was his first year of eligibility, and he didn't. I'm sure he got enough votes to stay on the ballot, but not in the Hall yet. But I think he'll get there. Isn't that nice to have a potential, probable Hall of Famer on staff? And who knows if they even have to pay him? This dude made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think he's doing decently fine. I mean, won a World Series with the Phillies, right?
Yeah, 2009. And then ended up with the Cardinals to wrap up his career. So, I mean, you're even going to make it, you're even going to be able to play, though. That's the thing. Like, you get 3 games over these next 3 days. It's freezing today. It's raining tomorrow. And then Sunday is going to be real nice. And you can't really play a doubleheader when there are 3 other teams around you on that Sunday. So there's I don't think there's a chance to make it up. And I'd seen where Dave Van Horn mentioned that I guess it's the Rangers that put on the tournament at their own stadium, and they want Arkansas to be there every year. I think it makes great sense for 2 reasons. One, you already play Texas A&M in football there every year, and that's a conference game. These would not be conference games. This would be an annual Big 12 versus SEC thing, which is terrific. And the other thing that Dave said, which I think this time of the year makes the most sense than anything else, if it's right there in front of you, they have a roof.
Yeah.
And it's always 72 degrees and perfect inside Globe Life Field. And it's really not 72 degrees and perfect anywhere else on a consistent basis other than indoors.
No, so
maybe San Diego, and they've been to San Diego
maybe San Diego, but even sometimes there it can get as low as 68. So you still got to bring a light jacket if you're going to San Diego, depending on what time of the year. But just to have that, I guess, consistency of knowing that you're going to get the games in, especially in the month of February where weather affects everybody, just to know that you're going to play regardless is something that is good to have. And you're playing against the Big 12, and there's some good programs. in the Big 12.
It makes sense. People travel out there. I mean, you had big Razorback crowds for the 3 games, even though we had to make it through snow and ice to get there. And it's just, you get such a big alumni base in the DFW area. It makes way too much sense for Arkansas not to play at the Globe Life Classic. And I can't exactly remember what the tournament was called. I just know it was 3 games in 3 days against 3 really good teams, and it was a lot of fun in a big league ballpark where the World Series was played the year before. And if that's not cool, I don't know what's cool. I do know that we got a shout-out to give to our friends at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They've been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for 72 years. Family-owned business. So you can trust Crabtree RV on their 17-acre site where right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49, 26,000 square foot indoor showroom with an RV park, service, and parts department all in that one convenient location. And they're there Monday through Saturday. So go by and visit Bert, all the gang at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, right next to the Cracker Barrel. Stay tuned on halftime. We've got Aaron Torres. We'll get a preview of the Hogs in Kentucky after this.
Instead of being blue and lonely, well, I just think I'll go away.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-285-5280. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-285-5280 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-285-5280 to see if you qualify. That's 800-285-5280.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Oh, you got Razorback basketball on the TV tomorrow. Maybe they got the Flow Sports subscription for $30 for baseball. But I'd head over to Joe's Grill and Canteen if you can't beat the game tomorrow, because half-price apps and taps during the game and Saturday specials as well. Crispy tacos, just $1 on Saturdays. That's a choice of beef or chicken tacos. Pork carnita tacos are $2.25. Brisket and pork belly tacos, $3.25. Basically, they turn Saturday into a Taco Tuesday, but we don't alliterate it. So it's delicious. And, again, half-price apps and taps during the Arkansas basketball game on all the Teves at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Order online, joesfortsmith.com, or just give them a visit across from the Harps.
I'll be watching it on the Teves there, because that's where I think I'm going to go watch the game tomorrow. Give me some of them half-price apps and taps and tacos.
I was there Tuesday night.
I saw your photos from it. You guys had big smiles on your face.
We did.
You were eating good.
Because not only was it Taco Tuesday with the number 2, because it was is it Palindrome?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then also it was National Margarita Day.
Ah.
So we had a great time.
Delicious.
And it is a great place to watch a game, too.
Delicious, delicious. Hogs in Kentucky tomorrow. You look at the most recent bracket put out on Bracketology, and I saw Arkansas's got a 6 seed playing against TCU in Portland, of all places.
It's kind of far.
He said,
wait, Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine?
Joe Lunardi sent him out. I don't know why Portland, Maine would be hosting.
I just got to make sure.
Tournament.
I mean,
I don't know what size arena they've got in Portland, Maine. That's one of the states I've never visited.
If I'm booking my flight, I just got to make sure.
Well, I think Portland feels like a far-fetched place for Arkansas to be forced to travel.
Yeah.
But again, Lunardi's not always right. Aaron Torres is always right. So let's ask him what he thinks about this this behemoth matchup, AT, of the two hottest teams in the Southeastern Conference. And Kentucky's already shown, as you well know, I mean, they don't need a point guard to win a basketball game against some teams here without Ty Washington, without Severe Wheeler, and yet they still go on to continue winning ball games. So can Kentucky be any better than they are?
Phil.
What's that?
Phil, I don't mean to cut you off. Is Portland, Maine really hosting NCAA tournament games this year?
I sure hope not. I'm pretty sure it's Portland, Oregon.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I just got to double check, because if I booked the wrong Portland on my flight, I'm going in opposite direction.
I will say this. One, you'll definitely be going opposite directions. Two, as someone who's been to both, Portland, Maine is unequivocally the better place to go. I'm just letting you guys know. Right by the water, great food, beaches. You know, Phil, you know this. I mean, the Portland Sea Dogs are an institution of AA baseball. It's a great city. Portland, Oregon, I'm not really a fan of. A little cloudy for my taste, always raining. I mean, Portland, Maine's kind of the same. Portland, Maine's a great place. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Hogs basketball, okay?
Well, they've got great lobster at Cross Arena in Portland, Maine, too. I just don't know how big of a place it is. I'm pretty sure it's Portland, Oregon, and it feels like either one of those cities would be, sending a basketball team that's red hot right now to some nether regions or whatever. So, I mean, what do you think about this Arkansas-Kentucky game? because I right now I just can't believe that Arkansas would lose. That's the sort of zone I'm in, along with everybody else. But Kentucky right now looks like they could be unbeatable too.
So that's kind of my takeaway is, Phil, you kind of set it up. Kentucky's dealing with some injuries. Calipari, I think correctly, is basically saying, like, look, I could probably play these guys, but we got bigger fish to fry. And it's no disrespect to Arkansas. It's no disrespect to LSU, Alabama, who they played at home. But I think it's like, I think it's a tactical move by Calipari, get these guys healthy for the games that really matter. But I'm also kind of with you in the fact that, listen, Alabama has been up and down all year. I've been out on Alabama since about the middle of SEC play. LSU is very limited offensively. They haven't seemed to be the same team in about 5-6 weeks. Arkansas is playing, by all measures, its best basketball. And what would especially concern me if I was a Kentucky fan going into this game is the idea that, LSU kind of exposed, hey, when you don't have a point guard, just really kind of get in Kentucky's jersey and make somebody make plays. And, well, guess what? Guess who's the number 2 defensive team in the SEC behind only Auburn, and it's a different kind of defense. It's the Arkansas Razorbacks. And so, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, because Kentucky has picked up some big wins here in the last week, but those games were obviously at Rupp Arena. I think both those teams, Alabama and LSU, were struggling coming in. This is a completely different deal with, as you said, Phil, Arkansas is, I believe, the hottest team in the SEC right now. And a chance for a signature win on Saturday. A chance for a signature win. I know Kentucky's banged up, but it feels different when you beat a good Kentucky team. And I'm excited for this one, obviously.
It was a lot of fun to watch Kentucky and Tennessee go up against each other because of the battle of the big men. And Kessler with Auburn's gotten so much publicity. I don't put Jabari Smith as like a big man because he's got that jump shot on the outside there. Sheboy, tell me where you think Jalen Williams fits into the big man conversation in the SEC.
Wow, that's a great question. He's different, right? They're all different. I mean, Jabari Smith, as you said, is kind of weirdly a wing perimeter player at 6'10". Walker Kessler is the biggest defensive presence. Oscar Sheboy is the best rebounder. Now that I think about it, I don't know that Jalen Williams is the best at anything of the SEC big men, but, I mean, maybe he's the most well-rounded. He's the best at taking charges. He's the best in the country in that category. But maybe he's the most well-rounded out of all of them, right? Oscar Sheboy's not much of a shot blocker. Walker Kessler's kind of a 5-feeding guy in. Sheboy's a great rebounder, but, limited, can be limited by length. And Jalen Williams just kind of gets his points, does his stuff, regardless of who he's playing. So I hadn't really thought about it in that context, though. I'm sure it's probably been a conversation you guys have been having all week. It's something I hadn't really considered. But, I would say, maybe the most complete out of all of them. And then just as importantly, I mean, you talk about his importance to the team. I mean, obviously Oscar Sheboy's potentially in another category, but what he does for Arkansas, all of the ways that he contributes to winning offensively, defensively, offensive rebounding, shot blocking, charges, rim protection, initiating the offense at the top of the key. I think you can argue there's nobody, maybe Sheboy's the only one that's close, that's as important to his team's success as Jalen Williams is.
Aaron, a lot of great basketball this weekend as we're down to our final two weekends of the regular season, not just Arkansas versus Kentucky. You've got Auburn, Tennessee, Baylor, Kansas. You've got Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Out of those 4 or 5 matchups that I mentioned, which one do you think will be the best game of the weekend? Is it this Arkansas-Kentucky game, or is it another one of those high-quality ranked opponent matchups?
I think outside of Bud Walton, the best environment is going to be Thompson-Boling Arena. And you guys know we've started over at my company. We've started team-specific Twitter pages run by fans. So we have Torres on the Hogs, but my Torres on the Vols guy said, you don't want to compare it to Lane Kiffin returning to Knoxville earlier this year, but he said it's going to be Lane Kiffin returning to Knoxville earlier this year, hopefully with a few less mustard bottles ending up on the court there. Like he said, and we have an intern that runs that page. He's a Tennessee fan. It's not me ghost tweeting. It's a real fan, just like with the Hogs page. But, I bring it up because he was actually at, I believe, I could be mistaken, I believe he was at the Lane Kiffin game back in October. and it has some of the same variables. Now, Bruce Pearl obviously coached there, but it's not his first time returning. But I think what stands out to me is that, frankly, depending on what happens earlier in the day at Bud Walton Arena, Tennessee has a chance to spoil an outright SEC title for Bruce Pearl. Now, I don't want to talk about that on this show because that means that Kentucky beats Arkansas. But, all of a sudden, if Kentucky were to win and Auburn were to lose, they're tied in the loss column in the SEC standings going into the final week of the season. So, Tennessee's playing really well. There's always bad blood when Bruce Pearl comes in. And I don't think it's bad blood like Kiffin. It's a different kind of, we love you, but we still want to beat your brains in kind of bad blood. But the fact that Tennessee's not only playing incredibly well, but they have a chance to kind of, in some ways, I don't want to say ruin Auburn's season because it won't be ruined, but really impact, the legacy of this team. I think they're going to get a real joy out of that. And because of it, Thompson Bowling, I know for a fact, is going to be rocking this weekend. And I can't wait to see what those fans are like, just like I can't wait to see what the Bud Walton fans are like on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and AT, I was looking through, your Twitter, and I know you went to an Arizona game earlier this season, and I feel like, I guess just where I'm sitting at geographically, that Arizona might have been a little underreported this year. I kind of forgot about Coach Miller and his Wildcats out there, but you were talking, you sent out a tweet about how they're one of the most dominant teams right now, that there might not be anybody playing more red hot than them. What makes them so special?
Well, I would just say really quick, what impresses me most about them, and we don't always have to talk about what I'm tweeting about if it isn't necessarily relevant to your guys' audience. But with Arizona, I respect any team, and Arkansas has a little bit of this. Actually, Kentucky has a little bit of this. It's like we criticize the Pac-12 and we criticize Gonzaga, which is obviously not in the Pac-12, but we criticize the Pac-12 and they're going on the road and beating teams by 30. And I don't care if it's an NIT team, a fringe NCAA tournament team, whatever. When you go on the road and you're the other team's biggest game, and it's like Kentucky this weekend at Bud Walton. I'm a UConn alum, and UConn beat Villanova at home this week, and it just felt different because Villanova's been the top dog, and Arizona's the top dog in that league. And so for them to go on the road, get everybody's best shot, everybody's biggest crowd, it's a whatever. It's huge, and they're winning these games by 30. And so I don't know if it's because they haven't been to a Final Four since I think 2001. They've been on the fringe and they can't get over the hump several times since then. I don't know if it's the Pac-12. I don't know if it's the West Coast bias, whatever. But no, I agree with you, Drew. I think they've been one of the more undercover teams nationally. And then you guys know how it is too. Anytime you say anything nice about a team that isn't in the SEC fans assume that they're just terrible and they're not even playing the same sport. So you get that element of it as well. But they're playing really good basketball. I'm really excited. It's kind of a metaphor for this NCAA tournament that I'm very curious about. If you look at the scenario where Kentucky essentially has nobody that's ever played in a tournament game before, usually the biggest precursor to tournament success is teams that have had success before, maybe not won a championship, but, made a Sweet 16 run, and then the next year they build off that. Kentucky has nobody on their roster that's played in the NCAA tournament. Duke has one guy. Arizona has no guys, and their head coach has never coached in a tournament game. So it's kind of random, but that's what I'm kind of curious about as we head towards March is the teams, frankly, like Arkansas, like Baylor, like Gonzaga, like Kansas that have been there before, do they have some sort of edge as we get ready for March?
Let's wrap up on this thought. Who do you think is the most surprising team so far in the SEC with 3 games remaining? And who's been the most disappointing team, and why is it Texas A&M?
I didn't know that Aggies fans I go on in College Station, they're apoplectic how bad they've been. I would actually disagree, Phil. To me, I don't know if disappointing is the right word. Alabama is unwatchable. I don't know if you guys have seen. I mean, obviously, Arkansas lost. That's a perfect metaphor, right? Must-win game. Arkansas's 2 best players basically don't play because of foul trouble, and Alabama wins by 1. That's a metaphor for how their season is going. Well, they beat Gonzaga back in December, and it's they played 25 games since then, and they stink, okay? They got destroyed by Kentucky without their 2 best players. They've lost to Georgia. They've lost to Missouri. They are weird and bizarre, and Nate Oates would never say this publicly, but I'm pretty sure he just wants this season, and they They asked about Senior Day yesterday, and I got the sense that he was like, I'm not forcing these guys out, but I know they have an extra year because of COVID, but they're not coming back next year. That's totally my speculation. I'm not reporting or saying that's definitively what happened, but I think he's ready to kind of start over next year. So Alabama's the most disappointing. What I would say is, one, we talk a lot about Arkansas, so let me give a bit of credit to Tennessee. Rick Barnes, I think he kind of has that rep. Oh, he's old school and he overachieved that first few years, but this is who he is. He doesn't, he's a decent coach. He barely makes the tournament. He always loses. And maybe Tennessee won't make a Final Four this year, but he completely, fundamentally, kind of like what Muss did this year, completely fundamentally changed how he plays in the middle of the season, where they had all these big guys, blah, blah, blah. And now, as you guys saw last week, they've gone to this more guard-heavy lineup with Chandler, Zakai Fiedler, et cetera. So I think he deserves probably a little bit more credit than he's getting, not because Tennessee isn't good. They were a top, 25 team in the preseason, but he fundamentally changed completely how he was playing in the middle of the year. They're now playing as well as anybody not named Arkansas. And I'm just intrigued for them, not only this weekend, but over the next 3 weeks heading into the SEC tournament, NCAA tournament, et cetera.
Well, enjoy the weekend of basketball, Aaron. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then we get set for Tampa, and then we get for Selection Sunday and the crazy
Portland, Maine,
coming up. The Portland, Maine, that's right. And we did somebody did text and it was like, it is definitely Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
I don't even think they play basketball in Maine.
I'm excited to see it. Diamond Hawks play this week. I know we got to go. They playing this weekend?
Hopefully, if the weather holds down in Round Rock, Texas, because it's 35 degrees there and it's going to rain tomorrow. So hopefully they play, because people are paying good money to watch it on Flow Sports, $30 worth. All right.
Is this one of those games? I've seen you broadcasting at 4 a.m., Phil. I think this is one of those games that's going to go till 3 in the morning.
Right.
So
it's a good thing I'm not there then. All right, we got to run, Aaron. Always appreciate you.
Appreciate it, AT.
Aaron Torres. Download his latest edition of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, and we'll have him again next week. 877-377-6963 to get on halftime. Oh, look, SEC Media Days. The schedule has come out.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
Hey, back here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Always online, randallford.com. Audrey, Ford F-150, it's here. You guys have them. Tell us about them.
The number one truck in the industry. It's been the number one truck for years running. You just have to see it. You've got all the features. You've got all the benefits of the Ford, the safety, the Ford Tough Standard. These trucks are they're second to none. And like you said, I do have new ones here, guys. A lot of dealerships right now are struggling to get new inventory. That's not the case. I've got new F-150s on the ground right now.
The key to getting the new inventory, the old inventory, is the fact that you guys have been around for so long, over 100 years, 114 to be exact, the fourth oldest Ford dealership in the industry.
Yeah, we're the fourth oldest Ford dealership in America, and we sell these new trucks. They give us the new ones, and it's because we move these trucks that we're able to get so many here. We've been here this long. We're in the community. People know us, and guys, you just have to come by and experience what it's like to buy from Ford.
It's easy. Come by and see us, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Forward! All right.
2022 annual passes are now available at the Ben Guerin Golf Course. We offer a variety of plans to fit your budget and needs. We have special pricing on juniors, seniors, and military. If you're looking for the best golf value in the River Valley, then look no further than Ben Guerin Golf Course. Book your 2022 tournament outings now. For more information, call the Pro Shop at 646-5301, go to benguerongolf.com, or follow us on Facebook. When you think golf, think Ben Guerin.
Here it comes. Oh, my goodness.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Guys being dudes.
Sooner or later, we'll have to call the show Guys Being Dudes.
That would be a great name.
It would be.
Would it work okay?
It perfectly describes what goes on here every day.
We're just guys being dudes.
Yeah. No need to complicate the matter.
No.
I thought so too. All right, we've got SEC Media Days already scheduled, and the schedule of the Coach Speaks have also been published. Monday, July 18th through Thursday, July 21st. I'm just going to assume that Media Days are in Hoover again. Sometimes it moves. I don't know where it is this next year. Sam Pittman gets to speak first. It's always nice when you're the leadoff guy on one of these things. He'll be day 3, and will be followed by Billy Napier, then Kirby Smart, and Mark Stoops. It's a pretty good third day, Media Days. Brian Kelly will be the first SEC coach to speak at Media Days this year. Hopefully he won't be putting on any dance displays, because that was not pretty. Lane Kiffin after him, then Eli Drinkwitz. Nick Saban leads off on Tuesday, followed by Mike Leach, Shane Beamer, and Clark Lee. So everybody will be out of the room after the third interview, or the third session there. Coach Pittman on Wednesday, along with Napier, Smart, and Stoops. And then Thursday, to wrap it up, Auburn's Brian Harsin goes in front of Josh Heupel. And they made the most talkative of the coaches go last. Jimbo Fisher gets to get up there and do his Micro Machines Man imitation on Thursday, July 21st. So I guess we're always there. This says nothing about the karaoke contest from whatever night the media people do this thing. I'm sure you'll be headed down there at some point, Drew, but I don't think I ever want to see you sing. You've sung a couple of times on the show.
I am a karaoke legend.
Yeah, to whom? In your own mind?
To the crowd, to the masses.
I've heard him try to describe there's songs that are good for karaoke.
There are great songs
because he can keep it in the range.
Oh yeah.
Who's your go-to?
So my go-to karaoke song is Wagon Wheel. Either version. I'll do
Darius Rucker or Old Crow.
Billion other people.
See, because it's a good.
Could you pick another song that not everybody else sings?
Well, see, here's the thing. The reason why it's a good go-to song is because it's like I told Maddie, it's in the range. You don't have to go too high. You don't have to go too low. You can keep a pretty even range. Another thing, I could probably do any Alan Jackson song because, once again, middle range.
You're no legend. If you're choosing songs based upon the fact that you can't sing, you can't be a legend.
Well, me and some buddies back in college, we would do "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" songs and get up there as the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Oh gosh,
we do the little dances and
Man
stuff.
of
It was great.
Sorrow.
Oh yeah. If you were in
That
Memphis,
requires a little range, though,
It did a little bit. If you were in Memphis, Tennessee, from 2015 through 2017, at the now bulldozed Windjammer, you might have caught the old Soggy Bottom Boys perform back in the day.
I think it was bulldozed because of the
They
Soggy
tore it down
Bottom.
because of you.
No. It's a Memphis staple.
Was.
All right. There's nothing better than the moldy $2 pitchers of Bud Light and good old Ruthell smoking a cigarette behind the bar. She was 90 then, so
I wonder what she's up to now.
I don't know.
This is akin to bulldozing the house of the weird family across the street that moved across the country, and nobody was going to move in there again. That's what happened to your place.
Pretty much, yeah. But it was great. We went there every Thursday.
We got another minute here in the segment. We want to take Cody's phone call, or do we want to make him hold through the break so we can espouse wisdom?
Let's take him real quick and find out if he's got so much that he can't get it in right.
All right, Cody. Do you want to? We're going to leave this up to you. This is listener appreciation. Do you want to hold, or do you want to talk? We got a minute.
Well, and this is a geographical oddity. 2 minutes from everything.
That's right.
I mean, what do you guys want me to do?
Good reference. Loved it.
Well, you're wasting
You
time
guys want
making
me-
your decision right now.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Should I wait through the break then? Because
Why not?
Go ahead and wait. We've got less than a minute. We'll
Hey, I
put you back
appreciate
on
you
hold.
You're one of the callers
All right.
that we don't mind letting espouse whatever it is he wants to say every once in a while. So why don't you just hold on to that for a moment, and then since this will be the golden hour once we get back, you can kick off the golden hour. I got a text earlier this morning, a lengthy one from Eddie in Clarksville. He's fired up. He wants to hear In the Air Tonight, and he told me he's calling at 12 noon. So, Maddie, I think you know what to queue up.
Got it.
And everybody else who doesn't like to listen to Eddie, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to force him to have a conversation.
Stick with
Cody, But Cody gets to lead off in the next hour, and it's the golden hour of halftime. We'll be joined by Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News at 12:30. So stay tuned.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Sports fans, sick of the Omicron and the coronavirus? Fed up? You've got the coronavirus blues, but baby, we have the cure. Wash your hands, sign up, and play with BUSR.com. At BUSR.com, you get everything. A casino, racebook, and sportsbook. Play blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. Bet on sports, horses. Want more? How about a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for ESPN Arkansas listeners? Just go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. BUSR, the cure for your coronavirus blues.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Plenty of sunshine today, middle 30s north, mid 40s south. I think we will see clouds and a slight chance of a little freezing rain and rainfall, even a little sleet across the south tonight. We drop down low to mid 20s. We should see a little mix of rain, light freezing rain and sleet across the south on Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Ramos Roofing, specializing in all roofing needs. 479-420-9903.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And in hour number 2 on halftime, it is a beautiful day to be indoors, listening to sports radio, or maybe driving across somewhere around our lovely state. Sun is shining, and nothing's melting just yet, except our cold hearts melting right now. 877-377-6963. We had Cody make his decision. He decided to lead off the golden hour. So, Cody, it's your turn. How you doing, man? What's up?
Man, I came to the office today. Roads are nice. I'm just glad it's above 32 degrees. I'm doing well. How are you, gentlemen?
Happy to be
Doing
here,
good.
man. It's the golden hour. This always makes our ears perk up, our corners of our mouth turn northward, and everything feels good again, man. My skin's never felt this good all week just because of the golden hour.
Good. Hey, I'm excited to hear Eddie. It's going to be a great atmosphere tomorrow. I love hearing Eddie. I love his energy. Real quick, because I know you guys probably got a few people on hold. Here's the Dow Loggins situation is the best thing that could happen to us. He's a great recruiter. Goes to Kentucky, gets experience as an OC. When Browse takes his next opportunity, it's an easier transition. Dow's a little bit more comfortable immediately than he would having to wait. Also, what I see in that is I see a smart decision as far as him actually doing that just because of Mark Stoops' job security. He's got at least a 3-year leash no matter how his program goes. You could see a few more teams get hot in the Eastern Division, Florida, Tennessee, but he's had such a good tenure there thus far that he's got some job security. So, yeah, 1 year you get $1 million. That doesn't move the needle. What does is a few years. So I think that's a smart decision on his end with the experience, and I see Bryles gone within 3 years. The other thing, this Kentucky game, I think that the big man inside is going to be a problem either way. You may see Vanover get time outside just because he can get behind the three-point line and make that guy go out to guard him, and that leads to maybe a little bit more offensive rebounding, where if he's in the paint just guarding Jay Will all the time. And Jay Will is multifaceted, I give you that. But you may see Connor a little bit just because he can stretch the floor as far as the 5 position goes. The other thing, but my biggest thing is you got to shut down number 31. If he gets hot and he puts in 20 to 30 points, we're in big trouble. It's almost one of those things where if you shut down everybody else except for their big man, you may have a better chance that way. Muss is a genius. I trust whatever his game plan is. And then the last thing I wanted to touch base with you guys is I know Auburn was the biggest attendance so far, but as far as tickets go, I know people were trying to find tickets as much as $500, and I know it's limited right now as far as accessibility goes. I think we're going to see a crazy atmosphere tomorrow, and I am so excited. I appreciate y'all's time, and you guys have a good one. Can't wait to hear what Eddie has to say. And Phil, it's going to be tough to get a conversation today because of the excitement level. If you do that, you're a hell of a broadcaster, brother. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it, Cody.
Well, and I'm really just planning on his call because he texted me, told me he would. But
He hasn't called yet.
I don't think Eddie's going to lie about that kind of thing. By
But
the way,
the next time that Eddie lets me down will be the first time Eddie's let me down.
9 minutes ago, this has been reported by Tom Pelissero. of the NFL Network that Kentucky has made their hire for offensive coordinator. It is not Dowell Loggins. It is Rich Scangelero, who is was the quarterback coach for the San Francisco 49ers and is now the new offensive coordinator for Kentucky. So Dowell Loggins apparently will remain on staff at Arkansas. I think that's good news for the Hogs.
Yeah, it is great news. And I was wondering why somebody from an NFL outlet was reporting on this, but that makes perfect sense if he's the quarterback coach of the 49ers.
So they lost their offensive coordinator to the NFL and then take a guy from the same division.
Wait, that was kind of breaking news, wasn't it?
Kind of. Go ahead.
The sound is always better after the news is read.
If it happened 15 minutes ago, it is breaking news still, right? We didn't break the news. We just sort of let you know it. But thanks again.
Well, we broke
Tom
the news to
Pelissero.
people that didn't know.
I didn't know it yet, yeah. We broke it to somebody.
I mean, somebody didn't know until we said it. So we were breaking news.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Loggins would be a candidate for offensive coordinator at any college team. Now, I think he paid great dividends as an eye in the sky last year. You had Kendall on the sidelines calling plays, but Loggins was up in the booth, and I mean he's also the guy he's the only former Razorback who's on the staff. So there is that connection, and it certainly does help. I think he's going to be an OC at some point, and maybe it is Arkansas. You know, I was listening last night when I got in the car after Arkansas women's basketball's loss, and on our station, you had the host is escaping my name, Freddie Coleman. Freddie Coleman was on. I forget who his guest was, and they I don't remember how exactly this came up. Oh, that's right. Art Briles has been hired as an offensive coordinator at Grambling.
Yeah,
and they, I mean, I think it's shocking, to be quite honest. Didn't this not work out at Southern Miss for Art Briles? And we'll see what happens at Grambling. Apparently, a lot of the alumni are not happy about it. But they had also said, his son, Kendall, was the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. They thought he had gone to Miami.
What?
When we did all this whole thing like a month ago about his Kendall Briles going to Miami, and they were misinformed about it. They thought he was there. But let's say that happens, right? Not this year, but after another successful year running the Arkansas offense with K.J. Jefferson and this great group of running backs and everything else, Kendall Briles is going to be viewed potentially as a head coaching candidate. I don't think he leaves Arkansas for an offensive coordinator job.
No, you don't move for a lateral spot. I mean, especially when you're an OC at the SEC level. No, there's no other. I mean, unless the only way it could be looked at as a, I guess a moving up in the world type of move would be, I guess, an Alabama or Georgia. But even then, it's more straight across than anything.
So we can go back to the big butt from Pee-wee's from the Pee-wee movie here and say, but when he does move on, conceivably Loggins could still be your tight ends coach here. That's an offensive coordinator in waiting. It's just a matter of if someone's going to come along and poach him first.
It just depends on how long that is. I mean, it really does depend. Is Kendall here for one more season, 2, 3? I think you get into that 2-year range, then I think Dow Loggins probably won't be here to take over when Kendall does take that head coaching job, because I think he's deserving of it. And it will come along for him here in the next year or two.
So the Dowell Loggins thing came and went like that.
Real quick.
Came and went like that.
Not even 24 hours.
Yeah, KSR reported yesterday that he was a candidate.
Once they got their power back, right?
Yes, that's right. Once the rumor mill could get started again, thanks to electricity, KSR got the rumor mill started again. But that didn't even last 24 hours, so don't worry about it. Because I think Loggins does more than just be a tight ends coach. And obviously, he's been a great recruiter. You look at the tight ends you got coming.
What, they get like 6 tight ends in this recruiting class?
I know you're throwing a number out there.
I legitimately think it might be 6.
I don't think you're far off of 6.
No.
It's 4 at least, and maybe being back to tight end you. So he's more than just a tight ends coach. He's an eye in the sky. He's a guy that's got a real sense of what NFL teams are looking for. I think he knows how to recruit. He's a former Razorback. He's an Arkansas guy. I mean, I think there's just a lot more going there for Dowell Loggins than just being the tight ends coach, which is a pretty important position in and of itself. But he's doing a little bit more than just that.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a great job. Like you said, I mean, the recruiting has been been off the charts for him in year one. I mean, a guy who's been around coaching for a long time, that had some stints in the NFL. And when you're able to do what he's done in such a short amount of time, same with Kendall Briles, I think that your name's going to be mentioned in the rumor mill a lot more, whether it's legitimate sources or, just people like you and me who know what's going on, know who are at these other universities and could be that next guy up. His name's going to be one to pop up. And I think before too long, it's going to be a real candidate, not just a part of a wacky Kentucky radio station rumor mill.
Okay, it's 3 tight ends, and they're 4 stars, and it's Luke Haas, Shamar Easter, and Jaden Ham. So you said 6.
That was half right.
You were 50% there.
That was half right.
And for that to be, that's 3 out of the 9 commits for the 2023 class. So you're set at tight end for right now. That's for certain. 877-377-6963.
Where's Eddie?
At halftime today. And, yeah, Eddie, we're kind of killing time.
Come on, bro.
Jeez, Eddie.
Hopefully he's
Is this
all right.
the first time?
We blocked out a whole segment for you.
This was your segment.
I'm going to check back in here today. Says, I'm calling in today with great enthusiasm at 12 or so. He said, or so. That's what it was.
It's got to be before 12:15.
He's going to ask the question, can you see what's baking in the oven, the recipe? And again, of course, no punctuation whatsoever. I'd rather smell what's baking in the oven because looking at it doesn't necessarily tell everything you need to know.
Did he specify whether it was 12 a.m. or p.m.?
Ooh.
Because he may be trying to call in the middle of the night tonight.
And did he say Central Time? I know he lives in Arkansas, but maybe he likes to run on, standard Mountain Time.
You know he can do that. If he calls in at midnight, he can tell Freddie Coleman that Kendall Briles is still the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
That he can.
There you go. We're all about helping folks here on this station. We're also all about the Fence Man. It's the company that you already trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, but they're looking for quality people to join their team. At the Fence Man, if you're a fence builder or you have a building experience, you can apply in person in Fort Smith at 1213 North 32nd Street. The Fence Man offers great pay, and they got you a $500 sign-on bonus as well. That's the Fence Man. Join the top fence building team in Arkansas. Apply today in person, 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer, and we'll stay here on halftime right after this.
That old Muddy River was my witness. The night I fell in love with the Queen of Memphis.
You know what that alligator would say? After eating me, I just had a bite of the youngest sports talk radio host in Arkansas.
I loved your guys' intro. Got me all fired up. Long-time listener, listen to you guys every day. Been listening since day one.
Because you know what BOAT stands for, right? Bust out another 1,000. That was, good Lord, man.
I'm trying to get rid of this moth.
Well, can we do it sometime other in the middle of the segment?
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
At Frank Rowe Furniture in February, already marked down low sale prices plus no sales tax. That's right, you heard it right. A sale plus no sales tax. For instance, a recliner regular $6.99, sale price $5.99. With no sales tax, $5.39. That's a savings of $160. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing, SNAP, and ASEMA financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a live jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we got Mike DeCourcy coming up in the next segment to touch on some of this basketball stuff going on. He's got his recent rankings out, and so we'll hit on that with him. Baseball's got a pretty big weekend coming up, and I don't mean Arkansas baseball. I mean Major League Baseball. They need an agreement. They need an agreement.
Something's got to happen.
If not, Monday is when they'll start cutting games. So let's just plan on not a full season.
No.
How long I've been telling you this is what's going to happen?
Do you think how many games do you think get canceled? I'm going to guess when it's all said and done, we'll play 120 games schedule. I think it drags out far enough to where we lose 42 games.
That would be a little more than a month's worth, right? So that'd be, what, about like 6 weeks worth of games?
Yep. I'm going to say this drags on for another 6 weeks because both sides, I think, want 4 weeks of spring training. So I think that we go deep. We go into April before anything is done, which means we don't start. Which means we don't start till mid-May.
I think you're right about that. I think there's no doubt at all that this is going to drag on. They're going to, they're putting pressure on the players. The owners are by saying if we don't have an agreement by Monday, then we don't have a full season.
Which means you're not getting
paid
game
for
checks.
games that you don't play. And so that's their leverage. The players' leverage is, well, okay, then we're not going to have an expanded postseason, which is really a big money grab by the ownership. Just plan on it not happening. April's going to be a really weird month because the minors will be playing, college ball will be in full swing, and Major League Baseball is going to have their collective fingers up their nose, wondering whether or not they're even going to report to spring training. And maybe, just maybe, it'll actually be spring by the time they actually report.
There won't be snow on the ground.
I have a question. If the miners are playing, who's going to be up in the hills getting all the coal?
I don't know. I don't know,
That's a real
Matt.
question.
It's good wordplay right there.
Good job.
Very good wordplay right there, Matty T. Yeah, I don't know if there's enough coal for them to dig out. They're just going to have to find other things to do. Like talk to folks like Eddie in Clarksville, who did say he would call around 12 or so I'd say 19 minutes after noon is on the so end of things. Eddie, we've got a song for you because I know you kind of already requested this, since this will be playing in your head tomorrow when Arkansas plays against Kentucky. And Phil Collins is singing about the air tonight. We're just talking about the air tomorrow in the afternoon. It's going to be sucked out of Bud Walton Arena, and the energy is just going to be incredible. What do you think's happening tomorrow?
Well, sir, I couldn't think of a better song. You know, back in 1980, what a mega hit. But it hit me last night. It started in my toes, and it worked its way up to my head. And I know Saturday, the Kentucky Wildcats are going to feel it too. As this team, there's something magical about them, especially defensively. I'm asking the players today, can you feel it? I'm asking Coach Moss, can you feel it, sir? I'm asking, more importantly, I know the fan base can feel it. And come tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Bud Walton Arena. The recipe is on my bucket inside the arena. And Coach Calipari, just like Coach Pearl, you're going to feel it. I'm so excited about this game.
Eddie, is this a bigger game than the Auburn game?
Well, sir, as they say, when you come down the stretch, it's how you're playing. And you know what a team Kentucky is. From their bench to their starters, but we're better. And when you come in, when you talk about environments, I want everyone to feel it. Even if you're not a Hawk fan across the country, I want you aboard the Hawk Mojo train, because the basketball mojo train is just getting started. I mean, tomorrow we're going to meet 13 of the last 14 games. And we haven't beaten Kentucky, by the way, since 2014 at home. That streak ends tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Don't get the buzzer. And Eddie, will you have any voice left for the NCAA tournament?
Well, sir, this team, I like it. When you can play defense in the gates, offense, and this team, now we're getting players involved.
Eddie, I asked, are you going to have any voice left? I don't care about the team right now. I care about your voice. I mean, there are other radio shows that count on your voice to do some work, and I know, the place where you work is going to count on your voice. How do you keep your voice as strong as it is? Take it from people in broadcasting. This is not so easy to do, because sometimes it sounds like you're chewing on gravel whenever you're yelling into the microphone. But I'll tell you what, you obviously gargle with salt water or drink honey tea or something like that. How do you keep your voice in such perfect shape?
Well, sir, it's a lot of, over the years, when you talk about, Eddie from Clarksville talks about the recipe, and over the years, I've enjoyed bowls of it, and you talk about this team right now. I mean, if you can't get hungry and excited about that, I want the fan base to come hungry tomorrow at Bud Walton. And before I leave, sir,
go ahead.
If you'll be so generous, Mr. Yerchek, I want you to get the insurance policy out at Bud Walton, because your premiums are going out. Take the roof off the house.
Very good. All right, Eddie in Clarksville. I don't think he told us anything about how he keeps his voice perfectly healthy throughout all of his shouting.
Secret of the trade, I guess.
Hog, he said a whole bowl of, I don't know exactly what it was, but I don't think steak and wine is the thing that's great for your voice. I think it's probably gargling with salt water. And a text out of the we apologize to you on our 479 texter that says Eddie has scared his cats. He scares a lot of other animals too sometimes, but he's the best.
Is your cat okay? She's not too scared?
She's fine. She didn't hear a thing.
Okay.
I got headphones
That's
on.
true.
She's asleep.
She's too busy chewing on electrical cords.
That's exactly right. She's going to fry herself at some point. It's worth saying, and I feel bad I didn't even bring this up at the start of the hour. And we'll take the break soon because Mike DeCourcy's coming up. Charlie in Camden, his grandfather's funeral is today. Remember he told us that yesterday when he called in. That's why he couldn't call in the show. So and I feel like we've gotten to know Charlie pretty well over these last 3 months as he's been calling in almost every day, and it feels weird when we know he's not going to call. Even other days that he doesn't, we sort of expect it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know his heart's heavy, and I think all of us can associate what it feels like to lose somebody that you've been close to. So, I mean, one of the really important people on our show here, Charlie in Camden, I think is having hopefully it's more of a celebration of life, because I know his grandfather was I think he said in his mid-90s. So it sounds like he lived a long and colorful and enjoyable life, and hopefully it's a celebration today for him. But I know Charlie's, not feeling his best, so let's send a little positive energy towards our man Charlie in Camden. All right, so we'll take the break, and before we do that, I want to remind you about 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. I know they're open again because things are opening up again, because things are going to start getting a little bit warmer. I can see some of the ice melting off the roof here. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has a great night planned for you. They were closed yesterday, so I would check back at their Facebook page to see if they're going to open tonight. Hopefully that will be the case. If they do open, they'll be open until 1 a.m. tonight and tomorrow. Great food, great drinks, best cigars you find anywhere in the state. 906lounge.com, or again, that Facebook page to find out if 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge will be open this weekend at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. Mike DeCourcy coming up after the break. He's from Sporting News. I'm just going to take the time to watch the Reverend Paul Andrew Barrett lip sync this song.
He knows every word.
Keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
Sports fans, sick of the Omicron and the coronavirus?
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase "in dire straits" originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why He feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and He promised when He went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Always appreciate Mike DeCourcy's time, writer at Sporting News, covers everything. These days, a lot of college basketball. Mike, always appreciate you coming on. We got a big game tomorrow. It's really a big game across the SEC and everybody across college basketball, with just a Saturday or two left before the start of conference tournaments. So, how do you view this Arkansas-Kentucky basketball game? Because Kentucky fans think it's a Super Bowl for Arkansas. I think the Hogs, they just handled every team that's come at them for the most part, and should be a really good game.
Difficult in the absence of knowledge about the absence or presence of Ty Washington and Xavier Wheeler. It's really hard to know what Kentucky is bringing into this, and especially a game like this where you're playing against a team that loves to attack the guards. The Razorbacks will certainly enjoy attacking a Kellen Grady more than they would a Xavier Wheeler. So it's hard to say. I suspect that Kentucky will come in with everybody, but that's just a guess. One really never knows about an athlete's health until they're on or off the floor. So without him, I don't know that I can see a path to victory for Kentucky. With both players, I think you're looking at one of the really entertaining games of the year.
Yeah, when Kentucky ends up having Bryce Hopkins comes off the bench almost out of nowhere and helps them defeat LSU. I know LSU's been struggling a bit. Arkansas is a different animal right now. Auburn has had some ups and downs recently. Tennessee has been already defeated by Arkansas. I get to play them again. Are these the two best teams in the SEC right now, or do you think maybe the other two that I mentioned still have a case?
Well, I mean, if you're at full strength, Auburn and Kentucky are the two best teams in the league. But Kentucky has been at full strength fairly, that I do start to wonder whether they are losing the time, the development time, while everybody else is out there trying to get a little bit better, and in the better cases, succeeding. Gonzaga is getting a little bit better every time they take the floor. Arizona, for the most part, getting a little bit better every time they take the floor, et cetera. If you don't have all your players, you're not getting better. Kentucky has been in survival mode for a week and a half, and they have, but it's taken some extraordinary efforts from players like Kellen Grady playing at point guard when he's never really been a point guard. You mentioned Hopkins coming off the bench to make. He didn't just put up some buckets. I mean, those were crucial baskets that he was scoring in that game. So I think that's Kentucky's disadvantage at this point, is that lack of prep time. Auburn's disadvantage is that they have an absolutely overwhelming front line defensively, but their backcourt, they have had some injuries as well. And what they get from Wendell Green in terms of the dynamism and the unpredictability of what he might do from moment to moment, which can be a problem for Auburn in some cases, but in the best moments is a problem for who they're playing. They've had some games where they haven't had Zep Jasper, who's a much steadier player. I mean, Zep Jasper is not, he's not a super talented point guard, but you're talking about one of my favorite stats of the year. He's at one point before he got hurt, he was looking at almost a 7-to-1 assist turnover ratio. He's turned the ball over more lately. But at one point, I think he had 7 turnovers through like 25 games or so, or 23 games. And now that's not really been in place. He's not, he has, he's missed some games. He's not been healthy in some others. And that's destabilized them a little bit. And so other teams in the SEC have been able to challenge them. Not many beat them like the Razorbacks did, but they've been in some really, really close games.
This morning, Mike, I was reading one of the other bracket predictors. I think bracketology is a little overused, so I'll go with bracket predictors. And he had Arkansas at a 6 seed right now. You came out with your rankings earlier this morning, and you went out with a top 16. You got Arkansas 13, which means right there they're a 3 or a 4. So where's the disconnect here? How do you see Arkansas in this?
No, I'm not sure what you saw, but I just sent my bracket in, and I still have them as a 6.
As a 6, okay. But on your rankings here,
I think you were looking at my power rankings, which is a different deal.
Okay.
My power rankings that I do for Sporting News are like, how good are you? And not what have you accomplished, et cetera, et cetera. None of that goes into it. It's just how good do I think you are? And that's where Arkansas was in that spot. When it comes to their resume, at this point, some of it is that the teams in front of them are kind of holding them off. Houston has fallen, for instance. They're like, if Arkansas beats Kentucky tomorrow, it becomes harder for a Houston to hold them off. It becomes harder for a Texas to hold them off. And so that's kind of what they're up against. And you have to remember that Arkansas has risen from not in the field in January to, okay, now they're in the field barely, to now they're squarely in the picture for a top 25 type seed, and they don't seem to be interested in stopping there, and they are capable. I don't know if there's something beyond a 4 that they could get to, but I think the 4 line is what they could be shooting for right now. That they could be, and what would be the difference between a 4 and a 5 would be the possibility that they could get placed where they'd want to be. They're probably not going to get to Fort Worth because Kansas and Baylor would both prefer that, but they might get a little bit closer to home than they would be if they, when they're just sort of following people around. I mean, my 6 seed today has them in Buffalo. So obviously they'd prefer to be closer than that if they could.
Yeah, Mike, with it being the last 3 games of the season, me and Phil were having the conversation earlier today of what's more important. Is it finishing out the regular season 3-0 strong? Is it having a great performance in the SEC tournament, possibly walking away with some hardware on Selection Sunday? But as far as resume building, how much actual resume and building goes into the tournaments themselves? Aren't most resumes kind of 95% already filled out and completed by that point? So is the last 3 games more important for as far as seed line goes for Arkansas, or would it be an SEC championship?
Well, first of all, the SEC championship, because of when it's timed, it's not as problematic for the SEC as, say, the Big Ten's is for its conference. The Big Ten they don't even start till 3:30. They finish almost at the moment that the bracket is sent to CBS. So that's problematic. But I think as far as I know, the SEC still starts the 1:00 Eastern time Sunday championship game. So winning that tournament probably wouldn't mean as much. You've got Kentucky home, LSU home, at Tennessee. All three of those teams are in top 25 type seeds. For me at this point, I'm not sure how others view LSU, but I still have them as a 6. So I think this is a huge opportunity for them. If they went out and won the SEC tournament, they could play, especially with what they're achieving now. They could play against Mississippi State on a neutral. Maybe there's an upset and they play, they play Florida on a neutral. And those games aren't going to quad one you, so to speak, in the same way as these next three will.
Yeah, and looking at, your bracketology, other people's brackets, whether it's Joey Brackett, Shelby Mass, and stuff, I think that if you compare the tournament to last year, we had the two teams that were head and shoulders everybody else, Gonzaga and Baylor. Then you look at the Final Four. UCLA, I think for a lot of people, came out of nowhere. Houston was a good, solid team all the way through. And now that we're getting to this point in the season, only 2 weeks away from 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday, that all four of those teams look to be in play. Do you think that there's a chance that when it's down to the final weekend of March that more than one of those four teams could be still standing?
You mean getting down? Are you asking me if the 4 number ones can make the Final Four, or are you asking me if the 4 number ones are all in play?
No, I'm asking about the four teams that were in the Final Four last year, because I think they've had better seasons than I think what we've all thought they were, coming into this year. Do you think that Baylor, Gonzaga, Houston, and UCLA have a chance to repeat and wind back up into the Final Four?
Almost certainly not. Houston came in with the potential to do it, but they've had multiple injuries. Their metrics are still fantastic, but they have continued to decline from a performance standpoint. Kelvin's doing a great job hanging on there, don't get me wrong, but they got swept by they lost to SMU. They have lost once to Memphis as well. That's basically the 2 toughest games in your league, and you lost them both. That doesn't port a likely Final Four run. UCLA has had just devastating injury problems. Not devastating injuries, but a devastating series of injuries. This guy misses 2 games. That guy, Johnny Juzang last night, they're at Oregon, a place they really struggled to win a lot of times, and Johnny Juzang goes down at the end of the first half. So now here's another game they're missing. They missed Peyton Watson, their freshman defensive specialist. Cody Riley started the year with, I believe it was an ankle problem. Tiger Campbell missed 3 games, one with the benching, a couple others with injuries. Jaime Jaquez has played the last 3 weeks with sore ankles, and they haven't felt comfortable sitting him down because they're so, it's so difficult for them to get where they want to be as an offensive team. So I don't see that happening either. Baylor, yeah, I think so. Now that they're healthy, you saw what they were able to do earlier this week. Now that L.J. Cryer is back, they were in play for Oak State, but they toughed it out and they made the buckets they needed to. But if Baylor's going to get to the Final Four, then the 2 freshmen, forwards, wings, whatever you want to call them, those guys have to step it up. They're going to have to. They have great ability, but they have to perform to that ability if they're going to win the kind of games they need to win to get to New Orleans.
Mike, everybody's had an opinion about the handshake lines, in the last week with what happened with Wisconsin and Michigan. We talked about it earlier. Look, I don't think all handshake lines are equal. I think sometimes opponents truly do respect each other and will say good game and mean it. And I think other times it's like Little League. I mean, I don't really believe that sportsmanship has to be forced upon people. You see a handshake line, and it's like, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game. That doesn't seem like sportsmanship to me. It's not like you got to look in the guy's eyes and hug him and say, hey, man, I really appreciate the way you competed and everything like that. But let's not make these handshake lines out to be something that they're really not. And sometimes it just feels like it's forced.
It's a routine. It's choreographed. It's perfunctory. It's not organic. Like if a player goes up to another player in an NFL game because they play together in college or something like that, that's great. Or if you went up against somebody that you really respected and you wanted to make sure, like you see sometimes in soccer with the jersey exchanges, that kind of thing. But there's no other sport that does what college basketball does with this routine. None. And every time I say that, what about the Stanley Cup playoffs? Okay, there are more than 1,300 NHL games in a year. There are 15 handshake lines. That's not the same thing. If we want to have a choreographed handshake line after 67 NCAA tournament games, all right, I'm all for it. That's cool. If we can get it down to that, I'll live with it. But this other stuff is nonsense. It's not organic. It's not real. Are there real moments in all of these lines that we have? Remember how many there's nearly 400 Division I teams now. There's like 358, I think. And they all play 30-some games. So think about what that adds up to in terms of games. It's thousands. And there are probably, a few handfuls of really significant moments in those exchanges, and most of it is just exactly how you described it. Yep. And simply put, if it was so important to the fabric of sport, why does only college basketball do it?
Yep. I mean, I thought Tom Izzo.
I'm with you.
I thought Tom Izzo talking about how this is what's wrong with society. It was like
Too
coaches
far.
love to point out what's wrong with society, and it always has to do with crap like that.
These kids today, they're teaching them the wrong stuff. That's what's wrong with the country.
I didn't buy a word of it. I just like how Major League Baseball does it. It's like the guys are looking at it and saying, I'm going to get that dude. I swear to God, I'm going to get him. That's more honest. Mike, appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for hopping on with us.
You bet, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.
It's Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Sooner or later, I'll get him to do a Yinzer for us because he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I know he is.
He knows what chip-chopped ham is. He knows what being nebby is. He knows what it's like to call somebody a jagoff and mean it. Yeah, you can do that on this radio station every once in a while when you're a true Yinzer. Brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. Our friends Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan serving to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. Every dental procedure provided, braces, implants, cosmetics, and the simple stuff. That's Riley Farm Dental, voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. Visit them at the entrance of Riley Farms at Highway 71. Go to RileyFarmDental.com and make an appointment at 226-3500. The end of the week is approaching, and that means the end of the golden hour as well on halftime. Right back.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working. Long as my 2 hands are fit to use.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, I got a last reminder for everybody. Tomorrow I'm going to beat up Ty Richardson.
Live on air?
Live on air. That's exactly right. It's just like we used to do it for years when halftime first started. And so we're over at the Stadium Shop tomorrow, beginning at 10:30. So come on out. Shake hands with us. Beat Ty up with me. And get your red and white stripe-out shirts at the Stadium Shop. Beat Kentucky buttons and tees right there at the Stadium Shop. You know where it is, right on Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Ruskin and Zach take your reactions until 5:30 when the game is over. Our Arkansas-Kentucky coverage is presented by WT Equipment in Springdale, Reed's Metals in Benton, and the Stadium Shop, where it doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Need to get some more stuff for baseball season as well, man. I've learned what I can do with some of my hats. I learned this last night. You can weather strip your hats. I think they call it laundry stripping or something like that. You take all sorts of different detergents and pour it into the bathtub, or I think I could just use the washing machine and just let these hats sit in there.
Just soak up.
Because the hats gather so much sweat and dirt and whatever else is in the air that by the middle of the season, this gray hat doesn't really look gray anymore.
Now, it's got a lot of those white lines around it, don't it?
Exactly right. And for a guy that doesn't have really much hair at all, there's nowhere for the sweat to go. So
it's going to go straight into the hat. Speaking of baseball, I've looked at the calendar, and I don't know what the weather is going to look like, but I want to say March 12th, I'm going to go to my first Razorback baseball game.
Oh, boy.
Buddy of mine coming into town. He's not the biggest baseball fan, but
he will be after he leaves.
He's a big beer drinking fan, and y'all have told me that we can do plenty of that in the left field. So I'm going to try to do my best for us to go spend the Saturday in Fayetteville. I think that's IUC or IC or U or something like that.
UIC, Illinois, Chicago.
Yeah, we're going to go see that series, and we're going to have a good time in the hog pen.
It'll be great. I'll be there calling that entire series. So we'll get you up into the booth and introduce you to Bubba, and as soon as you see Bubba, you'll probably run the other direction.
Let's do it early in the game, because if we start if you bring me in about the 6th inning, I might slur my words.
That's okay. By the 6th inning, maybe I will too. Greg in Mulberry wants us to get Ty to stop saying Arkansas. Have you noticed that?
He says Arkansas?
He does have a little bit of an impediment on the way he says his home state.
I haven't heard that before. I guess now that it's been pointed out, I'm sure that's all I will hear going forward.
Well, I'll do my best, but it's Arkansas. I've never had a problem with that. Saznakra backwards, but I don't know if you knew that.
It's Arkansas, not Arkansas, right? Like you can't say that.
No. The only people that ever say that are those folks in Kansas that for some reason pronounce the river there way differently than anybody else.
Well, here's the thing. Why is it Arkansas, but everyone in Arkansas are Arkansans?
I know a lot of people who like the term Arkansawyer.
Arkansawyer?
I like that better. It kind of makes you sound like you belong in the law profession.
Yeah. I prefer
like
that too.
Arkansawyer better than Arkansas.
Because it just doesn't make sense if you're from Arkansas and you pronounce it Arkansas. Why are you then, when you ask, what are you? I'm an Arkansan.
I saw, who was it? Was it J-Boy Show? He called Arkansas Arky. You don't do that.
No. I even knew that.
It's never going to that's never going to ingratiate yourself to.
Not going to get a lot of fans.
Like you can call someone from Arkansas an Arky. I know plenty of Arkansans who will wear that, but don't call the state or the program or the university Arky. I don't know a lot of people or anybody that gets with that. JT, by the way, is our text champion today. BE, did you hear that?
Only one. Oh, no, number 2. A text number 2 for BE.
BE sent in only 2 texts today.
Wow.
Only 2 texts today. JT had like 8 or 9.
Good job, JT. You win the belt for the day, but BE still got you overall.
Yeah, you probably got another 2,000 texts to catch up on. And that's your big butt, too, JT. I hear the music. We've made it to the end of the week. I feel so good. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Maddie, I know we'll be talking tomorrow morning, I think.
That's right.
In the stadium shop. That's right. And Drew, whatever you got planned.
I will be at Harry Robinson tomorrow while y'all are at the stadium shop. So come see me at Harry Robinson if you're not up in Northwest Arkansas.
Ruskin and Zach take you later on, or like the song earlier on the station says, Russian Sack. That's what I heard him say. It's what we hear him say. It's Ruskin and Zach. Get it right.
Two insane skies, man.
They are. All right. For Drew and Maddie, this is Phil. Have a great weekend. Get up, get out, get better.
It's time to stop searching and start driving. Between February 16th